What's going on, everybody? We are here to talk about Daredevil, and we're talking about the first three seasons. We're going back and rewatching before the new season comes up. Let's see what everybody thought about the first two episodes of season one right after this. All right, guys, I'm joined by some people you may know from some of the panels that we've done for post credits before, Adelia and Brandi. Matt, one of our Kofi members, if I'm not mistaken, is here as well. And we'll be talking about Daredevil, but we're going back and watching. Some of us may be rewatching, some of us watching for the first time. So, like the first couple of episodes of this show, I actually watched back in the day, but I never really dove deep into it or finished watching it just because I was like, well, this ain't really part of the MCU. So I wasn't into it. And back when this show was coming out, the MCU was still popping pretty big and everything else. So I was paying attention to the stuff that was actually part of the MCU story and everything leading up to Endgame and all that great stuff. I think the show came out a little bit before that, or maybe even just a little bit after that. But it started out as a Netflix series, and now you can watch it on Disney Plus. And then here we go. We're going back and revisiting because Disney Plus will be launching season 4 to the Daredevil series. And I'm kind of excited about it because they're going back and putting in all the characters and stuff that we got from the Netflix series, or at least almost all of them, into this series as well. And we just got the trailer not long ago, and the trailer looks really super good. So yeah, let's go down the line like we normally do. Adelia, watched the first couple episodes. What did you think just overall of these episodes going into it?
Well, I've seen this before. I binge watched this series the night it came out because all 13 episodes of season 1 dropped at the same time on Netflix. This series premiered in 2015, so this was 3 years before Infinity War. I believe Infinity War was 2018. And right after or right before Age of Ultron was in theaters. That's how far back this series started. It's phenomenal. I love the first 2 episodes of this series. It sets the tone perfectly for what's to come, and I really enjoyed watching it again.
Matt, overall thoughts first couple of episodes of the first season?
Yeah, it was this is a rewatch for me. But yeah, it was good to see the show again because I forgot how brutal it was, the fighting and stuff, and it's cool to see that in Marvel. And it looks like Disney's going to keep up with that according to the new trailer, kind of.
Yeah,
but yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, hopefully they're not fooling us with that and showing us there's 2 scenes that's kind of brutal, and then not keep that going on. But we shall see when the new season rolls out. Brandi, is this the first time you've watched this show? Period. Okay.
Yeah, this is the first for me. I've not seen this, so I'm asking questions when we're watching. I'm like, what is going on? What is this? So yeah, I like it so far. So good.
She almost saw the Ben Affleck one.
Nice.
Start watching the wrong one.
No. I didn't start watching the wrong one. That's the only one. I think that's the only one I've ever seen was the Ben Affleck one.
Right.
But I've not seen this.
But so the series starts out with us seeing kind of like a flashback to Daredevil when he was a kid, and there's an accident.
I forgot he was blind.
Yeah, the kid tried to shove someone out of the way, and basically saved his life for this old man. And he got this toxic stuff on his eyes and becomes blind. So as an origin story, I actually think Daredevil has one of the better ones of how he becomes what he is. Do y'all agree with that and think the show did good?
I do.
Yeah.
Yep. We also have Daredevil going and talking to the priest, which I thought was actually, I wanted to point that out because I thought that was actually pretty cool when he's like, I'm not here to ask for forgiveness, for doing something bad. That kind of deal. I really,
I'm not here to ask for forgiveness for what I've done. It's for what I'm going to
do.
Yeah. Yeah. That scene with the confession is really cool. I do like how they weave Matt Murdock's Catholicism through this series, and that's a really good start to it.
Someone grew up in the Catholic. I know those confessionals as well. I did not like them.
Yeah.
Then we go into a scene where some hooligans are out there with these ladies that are obviously like, they don't really tell you exactly what they're doing, but we all know they're doing like trafficking basically, and they're putting these girls in this damn thing. We got this evil piece of crap over there that's like, you get a bucket if you be quiet. One of them says anything, he shocks one of them, and then we get Daredevil coming up to the first fight scene that he has. The one thing I'll take away from this fight scene, because so far, first 2 episodes, all the action and fight scenes are pretty well done and pretty exciting for the most part. But man, I found myself kind of like smiling and laughing at the big fat guy who's sitting by the water, like eating a sandwich.
Yep.
Just watching them.
He's just chilling, eating a sandwich. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think Daredevil was kind of an asshole in this when he knocks him over into the water, because like this guy didn't do shit. He's just eating a sandwich. Like,
Look out.
He just chilling, like eating a sandwich. He didn't get up and try to hit you or nothing. He just sitting there. I mean, he might have been there just enjoying the show, but yeah, that was actually like a little funny part there with that. And I'm going to say this too: the intro to the show is Game of Thrones level intro.
It's so good. I'm so glad it's still on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I don't necessarily hate that. Like it, like keep playing through it or whatever.
Yeah, the credits are different. They've changed the credits for Disney Plus to remove all the Netflix references, but the intro's the same, and it's so cool.
I skipped.
We get an introduction to our man Foggy. We get an introduction to our man Foggy. That's like basically his like. Is he supposed to be like another lawyer, or is he just supposed to be like his
he's another lawyer, and he's Matt's best friend.
Okay, so they're doing their thing and talking. How do y'all like the character Foggy? I actually enjoy him. I think he's like the perfect kind of like funny.
I just want to call him Froggy.
Old Froggy.
Good old Eldon Henson from the Mighty Ducks. I was so surprised when I tuned into Daredevil that first night, and it was him in this series. But he does a great job. And
to Kirsten Dunst. Is that who he's married to?
No.
Julia Stiles. One of those.
I'm not sure.
One of those.
But it's not Kirsten Dunst because that's Jesse Plemons. But I was really happy to see him in this series, and I'm so glad he's coming back for Daredevil Born Again.
Right. We also jump into a character that ends up joining their firm, I think either at the end of this episode or the next episode. It's the lady that's in trouble. She gets arrested and stuff and tried for like murder because there's a guy that's in her house that's dead, and they're saying she did it and everything else. We come to find out that she's hiding a piece of information that they want, and they're not wanting it to be seen by a lot of people because they're trying to basically screw everybody in the big city with their so-called, like, they're supposed to be fixing an area, but obviously there's a lot of like embezzlement and all that kind of crap going on. I think she's a good character so far too. Like, I think she did a really good job. I can't remember the actress's name, but
Deborah Wall.
The character's name is Karen Page, and she's played by Deborah Ann Wall.
But nice. I thought she did a great job with her and what she had to do so far in this series.
I've been a fan of Deborah's since I watched her in True Blood. She's really great in that, and she's really great in this too. And I'm excited to see you guys react to where her character goes throughout this series, because it's good.
And speaking about the brutality, so she gets put in jail, but then they send like basically one of the guards or whatever that they probably got him for something. Like I got the feeling that this guy probably wasn't getting paid money. I figured that like he was afraid for his family or something.
Yeah, they showed us the scene where he's afraid for his daughter.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's that guy.
Yeah. So like he comes in and tries to take her out, and he almost does, but then he starts feeling bad and starts apologizing and everything else. But she wasn't completely knocked out. And scrapes his eyeball and everything, and she's able to scream, and somebody comes and helps her out. So yeah, I mean, that just goes to show you like the brutality of it, right? Like, you're getting a main character that you just found out almost choked to death.
Plus in her apartment.
Yeah, she clawed his eye out. Like,
yeah,
if not out, she did damage to it pretty well. So, but we have that, and We during this time too, we also find out that Daredevil has like a special ability that even I wasn't like didn't really think about because I never was a big Daredevil fan as far as comics and stuff goes. Is the fact that his hearing and stuff lets him hear heartbeat. So like he can kind of tell when someone's lying or nervous or whatever just from being able to hear someone's heart, which I think is a pretty cool little ability that he has there.
He can hear a lot of shit. Sorry.
Yeah, he can hear a lot.
Because he was on the roof and then he heard the one of the scenes somebody yelling for help, and it was not even near him. So like he could hear far. He's got a lot super hearing. That's probably would be the best word.
I like some of the finer details too. Like so in this episode, he takes her back to the apartment because of course she's afraid of like staying where she lives because there was a murder there, and people might be after her. Well, we find out that he's at his apartment. He got a really good deal on it. Looks really cool, but it kind of sucks because it has the big glowing sign outside. But obviously he doesn't care because I mean he's blind, so he can't see it. So it doesn't bother him like it would a lot of other people. Would y'all want to move into that apartment?
No. I would not want to. Not with that sign outside of it. But his apartment is a pretty cool setting, and it's nice that there's like details like, oh, the lights are off because I never turned them on because he doesn't need them and things like that. So I like his apartment a lot.
I mean, you could just get blackout curtains. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. If you get a super great deal, just throw some black curtains up and you're good to go.
I mean, that's true.
But I just thought it was a pretty cool little thing that talks about his blindness and stuff like that. And everything. Just with writing, it's pretty cool whenever I see like people like actually notice like the smaller details and stuff. And we jump into seeing like 3 bad guys, and I thought they were actually kind of cool to me too because it was different. So we had the guy who's like just a regular politician. Like I think he's just trying to get rich and stuff. I don't think he's like supremely evil, but he's also like overlooked shit he shouldn't be because he wants to get rich or whatever in this project thing. Then we had the guy with the glasses who just like kind of looks like a nerd, but he's obviously like a piece of crap, like just normal bad guy kind of deal. And then we get the older, I don't know what ethnic, she's obviously Asian. I don't know which.
She's like, Chinese.
Chinese. So she is that older crime boss, it seems like. She's got her like she's got a protector there to in case somebody tries to get stupid. But yeah, she's there doing her thing. So I thought it was a pretty cool, like just threesome of bad guys there.
Yeah. Those people will become more important as the series goes on.
Yep.
Oh yeah, obviously.
That lady.
Yeah, particularly Madame Gao. She's in a lot of the Netflix universe series. Because she's in Iron Fist as well, isn't she, Matt?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, then we come to pretty much the end of this first episode. We have the lady they're trying to save, and everything else that almost got choked out and everything.
Karen.
She does the stupid maneuver of like not listening to somebody that obviously knows what they're talking about and tries to go back to her apartment, even though it's dangerous, to get that information that she was obviously lying about, saying she didn't have. And there's a guy waiting there for her in the darkness, gets her, starts to beat her up, but then obviously Daredevil shows up again. And this is actually a really cool fight scene. And one of the reasons why I like it is, and I even mentioned it while we were watching it, is that the bad guy here was actually really skilled and was keeping up with Daredevil. Like he was doing some cool moves of his own. And really the only thing that you could say that really ended this fight was the fact that they fell off the stair, the fire escape or whatever you want to call it, like in the bigger cities. They fell down that. Obviously that dude, he hit the things, but they ended up getting up. There was like this little flashback that we have Daredevil have again, showing some of his early childhood stuff. And then he gets up afterwards. They both do, and they finish the fight. And all of that. Now, Brandi had an issue right after this fight. I'll go ahead and let her tell it what it is, because to be honest with you, I kind of agree with it.
There was no marks on his face after, like after the fight, and he like
Yeah.
was bleeding, but then afterwards, like, yeah, his eyes are covered, but you don't see anything. And someone's like, well, it could have been a few days out. He'll still have bruising. Your lip will still be cut open.
The other guy was dead in jail, hanging, and he had marks all over his face.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, where's all the marks? And someone's like, oh, your mouth heals fast. Not that fast. Your mouth don't heal that fast. The
only thing that you can kind of say,
there should be some marks on you, like from fighting and stuff, and there was none.
That's obviously a thing to me. Like, I just gave them props for a detail. That would be a detail that they missed. The only thing that you could try to argue, which, like you said, it shows the other guy that was in the fight later on, because they taking care of, they're cleaning house. So anybody that knows anything about this, if you survive, you get put in jail. This guy, they make it look like it's suicide. Actually, on both accounts, because the guard also he gets shot, and then they make it look like a suicide, and the daughter finds him, and all that. But yeah, that's a detail they missed, because you did show the other guy, he's got facial things. Because I was going to say, the only way that you could argue with it or about it is by saying that, you don't know how much time passed from the time that they gave the information to the newspapers, because the newspapers has already got the story out there by now. So a little time did pass, but obviously probably not enough to heal all your facial injuries.
No, if you're getting a hot story like that, you're putting it out that day.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of information in that file to comb through. So I don't know how they could have put it out that same day, but yeah, there should have been marks on his face for sure.
That was my only issue. I was like, where's his cuts? Like, he fell from the building. He fell off the window. Like,
yeah,
he hit his mouth.
When he's getting up, you can see him bleeding from the mouth. So yeah.
We did on that first episode, like opening episode, I think it was like, besides that little thing at the very end that you noticed after the fights and stuff like that, hey man, the dude's a handsome guy. They don't want him to look all ugly on the screen. They're trying to bring in the ladies. You know what I'm saying? But if you were to take that little mini thing out, I don't think there's anything I could complain about the first episode. I thought it was written well, thought it was done well, thought the action was great. So yeah, I think it's like a really good like first episode to a season to kick it off to do the thing.
And I just want to say too, why these seasons were good too is because they had one showrunner doing the whole thing. Like it wasn't a bunch of different people putting the show together.
Oh yeah, totally agree. Idea. That's one of the big things that I don't think is done enough and everything these days is, you should stick with one person. I get maybe using some different directors, but there should be a guy right next to him, the guy running the show that's like, nah, we can't do it like that. It doesn't feel like the rest of the season and everything. You don't get that cohesion when you're trying to like change things up and stuff mid-game. Or have a person that's a good showrunner that can step in and tell that director, nah, we can't do it like this. We got to do it like this to make it feel like the rest of the show. So these first two episodes,
they had good people behind this too. Drew Goddard created the series for Netflix. He was the director of Cabin in the Woods, and he wrote The Martian, and he wrote on a bunch of other stuff, including Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The season 1 showrunner was Stephen S. DeKnight, and he's done a bunch of stuff too, including Buffy and Angel and all that kind of stuff. And they think they did a fantastic job with the first season. There's different showrunners for each season, but it all goes together pretty seamlessly.
Did they all work for Buffy?
I don't know.
But I got a question. Is it, since you guys seen it, do they do a lot of flashbacks with the kid?
They do in the beginning. It like lessens over the course of the series, but like it's really important to like establish like why he's doing this, and they do that through flashbacks. Really,
the kid was good. I liked the kid playing.
The kid's doing good too. Yeah.
Yep, thought overall was pretty good, and I like the flashbacks. I don't mind them as long as they don't like dominate an entire episode or something like that. But like times where he gets knocked out or something like that. We go to the next episode, which is called The Cut Man, and he's on top of a roof listening out, and then he hears like this kid like screaming for his dad, which is something obviously. Yes, obviously that's something that he's going to get attached to because he was with a dad that was by himself and everything else. So he hears that and he runs down to the thing. We don't really see the fight or what happens, but it was a setup, and home dude is like beat the hell up, almost dead, laying in a lady's floor that happens to be like a nurse or whatever.
Yeah, night nurse.
Night nurse,
that's right.
Claire Temple.
All right, so on that, I thought it was a pretty good opening to the next episode and everything else, and being a dad myself, I was like, hell yeah, go save that kid. But you know what? He almost died in the process.
The kid got kidnapped by Russians.
I may just be
and he was on the floor. He was in an alley, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in the dumpster.
Yeah, that's right. She found it. She found him in the dumpster.
I was like,
her upstairs teenage neighbor found him in the dumpster, went and got her, and the two of them carried him into her apartment.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming because y'all giving her like kind of a name called the night nurse, I'm assuming that's what she is like in comics and stuff.
Yeah.
She's kind of the Nick Fury of the Netflix universe. She's in every one of the Netflix series, like connecting the characters together. So not that she's like works for S.H.I.E.L.D. or anything like that. She is literally just a nurse, but she does sort of connect. Is sort of the connective tissue on all the series that were on Netflix.
Yep.
Okay, but was she a real character though?
Yeah, Night Nurse is a real character from the comics, yeah.
But I mean, everybody that tries to gets up in these like superhero fights and stuff's gonna need a nurse at some point. So I think
she patches up all the heroes and stuff.
Yeah.
In the boroughs. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, she should be a doctor by now.
Rosario Dawson does great as Claire Temple. I can't wait to. I totally forgot that the second episode was when we were introduced to Claire. So that was a nice surprise, jogging my memory of rewatching this.
Me too.
And I love this episode a lot.
Yeah, I thought she did pretty awesome and amazing. So far, I haven't really had anybody that was like weak as far as actor or actress in this entire show so far. I think everybody's done really good. Even the dad that's in the flashbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the dad does good too.
But then we get to a flashback where we see Daredevil's dad while he was a kid, like basically I guess the mob or whatever, whoever's running things, is on him, gets him a fight with a big opponent and all this, and he's got to throw it in like round 5, and he really doesn't want to because he's done it a couple of times to get money. That's how he's been like in with these guys, and then but he wants to win one for his kid because like and everything else is starting to like bug him a little bit, and he doesn't want to do it, but then he accepts it or whatnot, and then he sets up a thing to where like, nah, dog, I'm about to beat this guy's ass, so like bet some money on me, and like I'm gonna get away. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like I got a plan, obviously. Well, origin stories and stuff like that. Something has to happen to somebody they love, most likely at a younger age. And then Daredevil, his dad, does not get away and gets killed like in an alley close to where they live.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's tragic, yeah. But it sets up his origin really nicely, I think.
Yeah, another thing I liked in this episode, now I don't even know how these characters go too much, because like I said, I watched like back in the day, I watched a few episodes and that was it. So I don't know like how far these characters develop and who's with who and that kind of thing. But we do get old Foggy over here with Homegirl, which I think like if this is like an ongoing storyline for like the series as a whole, where them two are kind of together a little bit, I actually think that's pretty refreshing, because not all the time does your main character have to have the love story or the love interest. Like I actually think it's pretty cool if like Foggy gets into this kind of relationship with her, and it doesn't really, and she doesn't end up with like the main character Daredevil. But I don't know, maybe that changes during the show, but so far I like that so far.
Yeah, I liked the scenes with Karen and Foggy out at the bar, and Karen, telling him why she doesn't want to go home. Like, I'd understand that completely. I wouldn't want to go home if all that had gone down in my apartment. And I won't say anything about where it's going, so I don't spoil it for you guys. But yeah, I just love both those characters so much. They're wonderful supporting characters to Matt as the lead of the series.
Nice. So we have Daredevil and the Night Nurse. They get this guy, one of the bad guys, and trying to get information so they can find that kid that was kidnapped, that he got trapped.
Well, there was at
He
first
was
he was going from door to
impersonating a cop.
yeah, he was going door
Yeah.
to door pretending he was a cop.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
he could hear his thing, and he's like, he's getting other people. He didn't believe you.
Yep.
And that's when he gets the fire extinguisher, and he's
Yep.
timing it to where he's like, when he gets down to the bottom, he's gonna get hit with the thing, and he times it perfect where the guy gets knocked out by the thing. But then the kid's seen him. The kid's seen him do it. The kid that found him in the thing, and then he runs. And then we get them. He's gonna need help putting guy on the roof, and he's like, "Why on the roof?" So that nobody hears him screaming. I was
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
pretty
"Well, I might
hardcore.
hear him."
Pretty hardcore. They put his ass on the roof. He's kind of tied up. Daredevil was questioning him, kind of intimidating him and everything. And the Night Nurse steps in. Like, you assume that she would be like a little weirded out by the whole situation, but she knows this person did something bad. She also knows that Daredevil actually has saved people's lives. But then she comes in at one point and shows him exactly where he can like stab the guy a little bit, and not necessarily kill him, but not necessarily kill him, but cause him like ridiculous amounts of pain. So that happens, which was surprising to me, and I think that's kind of cool that she was like willing to do that, knowing that this guy was a bad guy. Then Daredevil hangs his butt. That still doesn't work completely. He puts him up. He's like, "You better tell me now," and he hangs him. He's like holding him up on the edge of the building. Finally, he says something pretty much like, "I enjoy this" or whatever. And the guy, I was like, "Oh shit, I guess he's for real."
I need you to know why I'm doing this, because I enjoy it.
Yep. And then the guy tells him where the little kid is, and then Daredevil goes to walk away, but then turns around and pushes him. Now he falls perfectly in the same dumpster that he got found in. So I guess that guy's not dead, but pretty close to it.
They also cover her face in that scene too.
Yep. So that people don't know who she is, in case. But he actually says most of that was because of like a scare tactic, kind of thing too.
And he also says, you can get rid of me, but there are going to be others to take my place. So it's never going to stop. Other people are going to keep coming. So I was like, ooh, yeah, you get rid of one, they still have another one back up. Somebody else will take his place.
Now, one of the things that you have to do when you do a show, and that's like have a good episode 1 where you find out about the characters, get a little interested in them. You don't want to like do anything super extravagant. You kind of just want to set it up a little bit, but you kind of do still want to have fun and a little bit of excitement with that. But within the first 3 episodes, you better have something that has people coming back for more.
Yeah.
And at the end of this episode, The Cut Man, episode 2 of season 1, is where I think most people got grabbed. They were like, "Oh shit, okay." Because that is the famous scene in the hallway, because he goes to that restaurant, he gets down there in the basement area, and he shows up, and there's obviously these bad guys and stuff where they got these kids kidnapped, or at least that kid kidnapped. He comes walking down there by himself. He's still banged up from where they had did the thing at the very beginning of the episode to him that we really didn't get to see, but he got hurt pretty bad. But he's like, "I ain't stopping because this kid could be dead by tomorrow," kind of thing. So he walks down there by himself and takes on about 8 to 10 guys from 2 different rooms down this hallway, but it's all shot and it's all done in one cut. There's no editing or anything. So this was a creative way to do it. I think, I can't remember actually which one came first, this or like John Wick, his first movie, but it's probably whoever came first, either John Wick or this, probably utilized some of the things that they saw or learned from one another. So whoever was first, I want to say this first season of Daredevil might have been before the first John Wick movie, but actually I don't know.
No, Daredevil was second. John Wick came out in 2014. This in 2015.
Okay, so like the next year they were like, look, guys, here we go. We just learned something.
Yeah.
A lot of people love this. They saw John Wick, probably became big fans of it, and went and utilized some of that stuff they saw there in the show, because there's but they even do it like a little I'm talking about the fighting style, but that one shot with like no edits is, I think they do a little bit of that in John Wick, but a lot of that's just the fighting style and stuff that they use. But yeah, we get a cool kick-ass fight scene, man. He takes on all these people, beats their ass while getting his ass beat, which makes it even more fun, because it's not just somebody dominating, beating people up in one punch. He's getting hurt as well as he does that.
Yeah, and they showed how tired he was too.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty good thing they did as well. And then it's like the very last thing he does is like do a little spin thing to punch this one guy out. It's like probably not needed, but it is one of those things. You're watching a superhero show or movie, so you're going to expect some of that stuff. But he gets the kid, man, walks him right out. But yeah, that scene is one of the, like, a scene that a lot of people talk about, even like that people even probably know about that hasn't even watched this show, because a lot of people do talk about it. So him walking out of the hall, perfect ending the season or episode 2 of season 1. Now you're kind of hooked. Now you're like, I gotta see the next episodes to see where this goes and everything else. So I can see why people got super excited with it back then when it came out and everything else.
Yeah.
And this episode probably made people like Adelia, like she said, binge it. It's like, shit, I gotta keep watching. But yeah, guys, what did you think about this episode overall, especially this fight scene and everything?
It's fantastic. I mean, that fight scene, I watched it probably 2:00 in the morning when I first watched this, because these episodes came out at midnight. Well, it's actually probably later than that, because I don't know if it was midnight Pacific or Eastern that these came out, but it was really late at night, and that woke me right up. Like it's brutal, it's violent, but he has a purpose for doing this, and that's to save that kid. And we don't know anything about the kid, but like just the fact that these people are kidnapping kids is
Draw 'em out.
it's sickening to think about, and it makes for a very interesting rest of this season. And I am so glad that we're going on this journey to rewatch or watch it for the first time.
Yeah, same here. I'm real glad to rewatch the show. Like I said, I forgot how brutal it was from Front Street off the beginning. And it's gonna be cool. I can't wait to see the rest.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. It's all good.
All right, let's do what we normally do, and that's give like a on these 2 episodes. I guess we can kind of bundle them together, because that's how we're going to be doing this one, because there is a lot of episodes to catch up on before the new Daredevil comes out. So we're going to be watching and not quite binging, but watching them in pretty quick succession and everything. So the first 2 episodes of the Daredevil, let's go opposite down the line. We'll start with Brandi first. What's and what'd you think overall those 2 episodes? And add anything, your last thoughts.
I can't wait to watch the other episodes. I'm still like, it's a 7.5 for me. It's just, I think there could be more. I'm giving it leeway, but it's pretty good so far. 7.5 is good for me. So I like it. Can't wait to see what else.
Big Batty Matt, the harshest critic on the internet.
No.
What do you got?
No, I'd give this like a 9 out of 10, honestly. For a show about a guy that doesn't have powers or nothing like that. In fact, has a disability. You know what I mean?
Points got deducted for the no marks on his face after.
Yeah, I'd say 9 out of 10 for the first 2 episodes.
Man, that's big praise coming from the harshest critic on the internet.
Yep, that's right.
Matt Munoz. Okay. Adelia, what do you got?
I'd give it like an 8.5. It's just phenomenal, and I feel like this season and this series gets better and better. So I'll start it at an 8.5, and we'll go from there.
I'll go with it.
I'm reminding why I love this series so much.
Yeah, I'll go with the A minus for a grade. I do think it's done well. Like the character so far, the action is cool. Besides a little couple of things like that Brandi picked out with like him not having that bruised up face and stuff. Like there's a couple of more things besides just that. It's not perfect with it, but it's got a good story so far. Like Matt says, like I think this is a cool comic book character. It would probably be my favorite comic book character if I would have had to have grown up with some kind of like a disability or something like that. Because when you look across the whole world and people are put in these kind of situations, like whether it's becoming blind or can't use your legs or something like that, have to be in a wheelchair, any of those things, you'll always find these people that are like superheroes in real life that's involved in those that overcomes that and is able to go on like a fabulous journey. I mean, one of our fans that watches us a lot and is part of our Discord and everything else, Brennan is one of those, you know, like a lot of people just get scared because they think their voice may sound a little funny of getting on here and doing things on YouTube and making videos or doing any of that and all that. And if you're around Brennan, you know, like his disability, but he doesn't let that like control his life. He still goes out and has fun. He still does things like get on YouTube. He does his own podcast and everything, which is pretty good if you like Star Wars. And like I think he also talks a little bit about Star Trek as well, which is kind of blasphemy, but it is what it is. Like we all can't be perfect, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like Brennan steps up and does all those things, and a lot of other people are afraid just to get on camera for a lot less than what he has to deal with. So like you just see those things in your everyday life. You meet people like that, you know, like somebody loses a leg and they're out there winning the Olympics or at least some kind of track and field
Paralympic.
Yeah, Paralympics and stuff like that. But you like there's people that has like a missing limb that's, you know, done things like tried to climb Mount Everest or, you know, just something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy how people are able to overcome things that happen to them and stuff, especially when it's not their fault. So yeah, man, praise out there. That's a cool ass character to me. So it's going to be interesting to see this guy that takes what you would normally say is like a bad thing and turns it into like a super good thing, as a true superhero. You know, he just didn't come from another alien planet like stupid ass Superman. And then he's OP and just like has every power known to everybody.
Alone. What does Superman ever do to you? Nothing. Shut up.
He's just overpowered, man. Dude can do everything. He has everything. X-ray vision. It's like every comic book, he got like a new thing he can do. He's got the superpower ability of breakdancing, for God's sakes. Like
Superman. Come on. Super is in his name.
Wait, the way you said man right there, he ain't got no beard like me. His name should have been Superboy, okay?
When he was a boy, he was a super boy, okay? Now he's older, he's a Superman.
We'll call him super young adult.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'm still trying to figure out why Justin thinks an 8 out of 10 is an A-.
Because if I go below 8, it's going to be a B+.
It's Justin.
Yeah, if I go like 7.9 to like about 7.5, maybe closer to
if it was 6, below a 90%, I was getting a B. Yeah. That's all I'll say.
Wow. You're going straight letter grades from school. We're not doing it like that. All right.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? We're grading on like a bell curve over here. You're over there
on a curve.
Yeah, that's bull crap.
Justin's schooling was a little different. He was from Alabama.
Hey man, everything's different. I just got like a blizzard come through where I live, which is like never.
We've had more snow than I have had, and it's very strange.
We got
not a blizzard.
We got like 6.5. It is for here. We got like 6.5 inches of snow. I think almost 7 here in the place that I'm locally from. The world record ever since they held like records of snowfall. That's more than double the most snow that's ever fell at one time in this area of the country.
That was like blizzard.
Wow, man.
Probably not a blizzard.
Bro.
It wasn't. I saw the snow falling. It was a blizzard. It was not a blizzard.
What are you talking about? That's a blizzard.
That's not a blizzard.
It's a blizzard for Alabama.
Listen, it was a blizzard. I saw a Yeti walk across my backyard.
It was Justin. The snow fell on him, and he was all
I
wet.
saw Frosty. I saw Frosty.
Justin's beard had all snow in it. I was like, oh, that's cute.
All right. With that being said, I do think there's one thing that we can announce, because I think if it hasn't done, we are going to open up the Discord, correct? I don't know if we've
There
done
will
that
be
yet.
a link to the Discord in the description of this episode.
Yeah, so you can join the Discord, and when you watch things like this, you can talk to us. If you want to join the so the Discord's free, but if you want to come on and enjoy the shows and stuff, watch along with us, and like something like Matt did, and come on here and talk about the shows after we did it, we have grab that cup of coffee, like I say, and that should be in the descriptions below as well. And like and subscribe.
And I want to say, if you go to our website, letsgetreadynetwork.com, you will find a post where you can sign up for our newsletter, which is launching this weekend. Just a look behind the scenes and what you missed this week at LGR and stuff like that. So check it out.
Yeah, and because I totally didn't forget, but I'll blame Adelia anyway, because she didn't remind me, I didn't forget the banner that's put on here. It's kind of cool. Look at this.
Yeah, I know. I know. We need to fix it, but we'll put it back up next time.
All right. Well, with that being said, guys, until next time, may the force be with you. I know that ain't got nothing to do with Daredevil, but I don't know of a cool phrase he says yet to be able to say coming out of here. But until next time, peace.